All right, today we're going to talk about the angles in a triangle and how you can find a missing angle, and then we're also going to look at how to classify a triangle. So if you look on the right here, I have this triangle, and what I did was I simply cut off all of the pointed pieces, all of the vertices, okay? We cut all of those off. Now, when we cut those off, I put each one over here. So angle 1 is right here, angle 2 is right here, and angle 3 went over here, okay? Now, normally I would literally have you guys cut a triangle and do this yourselves, but can't give you all triangles. So I took each of these and I put them together, and you'll notice when I put all 3 of those angles together, it equals this straight line here. And a straight line, if you remember, is 180 degrees, okay? This will be true for every triangle that you ever use, which means that all of the angles in a triangle will always add to 180 degrees. So we have here the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3 is going to equal 180 degrees, which is that straight line. Okay, so we're going to use that kind of like we just did with our complementary and supplementary angles to solve and find a missing angle in a triangle. So in this triangle here, I have 36 degrees, I have 24 degrees, and I have this K we don't know degrees. So what I can say is I can say the measure of 36 plus 24 plus K, which are all 3 angles in my triangle, is going to equal to 180 degrees because every triangle will always equal 180 degrees. And then we're going to solve it, just like our equations that we've been solving. So the first step I'm going to do is put these 2 numbers together. So I'm going to do 36 plus 24. So 36 plus 24 is 60. So we have 60 plus our K is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, now we want to get that K on its own. So I'm going to subtract 60 from both sides. So 60 minus 60 is 0. So on the left I have K left over. And then 180 minus 60 is 120. So K is equal to 120 degrees. Okay. All right, the second thing we're going to look at here is how to classify a triangle. So when we have different triangles, our triangles actually have names to them. Okay, so the first kind of triangle we have is a right triangle. So a right triangle, I'm going to put a text box in here, maybe. A right triangle doesn't want to work. Okay, is a triangle with one right angle. Okay, triangle with one right angle. And the way that we know that this one has a right angle is this box in the corner. Okay, that box in the corner means that it is a right angle. Okay, that's the symbol for a right angle. And a right angle is always 90 degrees. So if I went to solve this one and I want to figure out this missing angle right here, I'm going to do 90 plus 46.5 plus x is equal to, our magic number for triangles is 180. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is add 90 and 46.5, which is 136.5. So then I'm going to subtract that from both sides. Don't forget to line up your decimals when you're subtracting over here, so add a point and a 0. And x is going to be equal to 43.5 degrees. Okay. The next type of triangle that we have here is called an isosceles triangle. So an isosceles triangle is a triangle that has two congruent sides and two congruent angles. So you've probably heard the word congruent before. What this word means is that it means that they're equal. So it has two equal sides and two equal angles. Okay, so these tick marks right here, this tick mark here and this tick mark here, tell you that those two sides are congruent. Okay, meaning that they are exactly the same. So if this angle is 55 degrees and it's across from one of the congruent angles, that means we can say that this angle is 55 degrees as well. And then you would be able to go ahead and solve for the missing angle of that triangle. Okay. And our last type of triangle here is called an equilateral triangle. So this is a triangle that has three congruent sides and three congruent angles. So it's what I like to call a perfect triangle. Okay? They're all equal sides and they're all equal angles. So in an equilateral triangle, all of the angles have the same measure. So that means to find the angles of an equilateral triangle, we're going to take 180 degrees and divide it by 3, which would give us 60. So every angle in an equilateral triangle is 60 degrees. Okay, so we have our equilateral triangle where everything is the same. Isosceles triangle has two congruent sides and two congruent angles. The way I remember this one is you have two eyes, and isosceles starts with an eye. Okay, so that's how you can remember it's 2. And then our right triangle has a 90-degree angle in it. All right, go ahead and go to Schoology and complete your assignment.